Hello again, everyone. It's been quite a few days yet again since I released a video. So I'm trying to get back on it, but so many things have been happening and so many exciting things that it's really taken me away from doing these videos for you guys. I'm trying to release a book at the moment, and there's more to come after that. It's going to be a series of 3 books. So book 1 is being published right now. So let me know if you're thinking of getting a copy of that. What it's about blending all the numbers in numerology. It's about being able to take the numbers from your chart and put them together and make sense of them. It's actually for people that would like to read numerology for other people, or people that would like to really dig deep into their own chart by themselves. So it's a series of 3 books, one that focuses on your life purpose, one that focuses on how your expression supports your life purpose, which is very much the focus of my videos, and one that's to do with the soul urge number and how that supports the life path. So very much linked to my videos, but it's all the different bits of information all in one book, or should I say a trilogy of books. I've also released a couple of courses on Udemy. If you make direct contact with me about my Udemy courses, if you'd like to take my foundations or my master course, if you contact me directly, I'll be able to give you a coupon, or you can find coupon links on my website, because at last my website is now snazzy. So if you want to have a look at how my website looks now and how snazzy it is and all the fancy links that I've got now, I'm really proud of it. Go to www.soulexplorer.net and take a look, and marvel at my beautiful new website done by my other half. What a genius he is. Anyway, 2 minutes of gabbling. It's time to get started on this video. Now, this was a request, and I'm sorry it's taken me a while to get my requests out there, but I am going to get them done. I always promise I will do them. So this is for you as a life path 8, when you have a motivation, a passion, or a drive in the energy of the 6. Now, when I look at these numbers, first of all, I see a life path 8 who is here to be very realistic. They're here to be resilient and tough so that they're able to deal with the ups and downs of the world, really, to be a balanced achiever and a world-class leader. So the life path 8 is all about making abundance and being able to share that abundance with others, like as a tool to help them to develop. So the life path 8 is about learning to achieve, learning the secrets of financial abundance, and being able to know what makes money and what doesn't, and build not only financial but also emotional abundance that you can share with others in order to develop them. But the Soul Urge 6 is a very idealistic motivation. And when you think of the business world and the world in general, it's far from ideal. So these could be 2 very incongruent numbers. I'm here to go into the real world and enter the cutthroat world of business, but I'm not really motivated to do it. I'd rather be very home bird. I'd rather bring comfort and nurture to people like a Soul Urge wants to do. Soul urges just want to nurture others. They want to build a comfortable home, make their environment beautiful, play music, be creative. So these numbers look, and can be quite congruent, but there's always a way to blend these 2 numbers, because when you're a very ethical and idealistic 6 who really wants to make the world a better place, you're going to be very ethical in business. You can either run a very ethical business that helps those that need it the most, or helps or improves the well-being of others, or you can run a business and use a lot of what you earn, or your surplus of what you earn, to reinvest in other businesses. And your practices as a life path 8 is always going to be considering of others. So you might be a business person that only deals in fair trade. You're going to be very ethical. You're going to be nurturing those that need it most, but being able to earn money as well. Or you might have a totally different business, totally unrelated to people, but you use your financial abundance like a philanthropist to nurture others. to help those that need it most in your community, in your family, and even worldwide. So there's always a way to blend these two numbers in your chart rather than feeling, oh, they're congruent, this is all an issue, what am I going to do? There's always a way to blend the two. There's nothing wrong with being a nurturing and ethical business person, or a person that nurtures, a business person that nurtures others with their abundance, with their emotions, with their finances. So let's get into the detail and the nitty gritty of what the Life Path 8 is here to do, and how the motivation in the 6 can help and sometimes be a bit of a hindrance to our life path. So first and foremost, when you're a Life Path 8, this is what you're here to work towards. It's not something you already are. It's something that you're going to find, quite difficult, because it is your purpose to achieve in this lifetime. If it wasn't going to be difficult to achieve, there's no point bringing it as your life path. So you're all about learning via experience and via study to understand the secrets of creating financial abundance, to know what makes money and what loses money. And sometimes 8s do make money and lose money erratically. But as long as the 8 is learning what makes money and what doesn't, and they don't repeat those mistakes and they multiply the things that make money, they are essentially bit by bit learning how to create financial abundance, which can lead to them being, very free, able to be free in their choices. Money can bring you freedom of choice. But you've got to be ethical in your business. The 8 is very highly developed. They're not about standing on people to get to the top. 8s have the potential to be very successful and get to the top. But they have to be careful that they're being ethical in everything they do. They need to be a responsible achiever that achieves their goals and makes things happen, but without hurting anyone else around them, and still considering those around them, which is very good for the soul urge number 6, which already has that motivation. You're here to develop a healthy attitude towards money. Money is not evil, it's energy, and it's a tool that can be used for, you can use it for good or for bad. And you as a Life Path 8 are here to use your abundance as a tool to help others, to support others and help those to achieve success. You can also bring emotional and mental abundance too, like even offering someone a helping hand, you're offering them your abundance, and it will always come back to you, because you are highly spiritual. You're here to be worldly, but you have a lot of spiritual ability. You can use your intuition to help you to be a leader and be confident and achieve in the real world. And what you learn in your dealings in the real world can feed your spiritual side, your intuitive side. So you kind of need to learn to use your intuition to help with the world, and use the world to support your development in your intuition. Be intuitive but still worldly, kind of be both. Be resilient, be courageous, be a natural world-class leader. That's what you're here to learn to be. And that means having balanced personal power and being able to lead with charisma, not being overpowering and not being submissive, because it's balanced personal power that the Life Path 8 is looking for. And many 8s can either be very submissive or over controlling, and they need to make that balance between the two. So the Life Path 8 is about business, making money, it's about achievement and having personal freedom from that abundance, being ethical and responsible, make things happen, have a healthy attitude to money, and use it as a tool to help others, but be resilient and strong in the real world, and be courageous and learn to be that world-class leader that you're here to be. That's a lot to achieve in this lifetime. Your motivation, your drive in the Soul Urge 6 is idealistic, and you're very motivated by your visions of the ideal. You're a passionate dreamer of the utopian world, and you dream about those ideals being part of us, and what the world would be like if everybody was fed and everybody was looked after and nobody was suffering. Because you want, with every day, every action that you take, to create a better world, and practically applying your utopian ideals where you can. You're able to reconcile ideals, with reality, to know what's feasible in this lifetime. You're able to look at practical reality and understand why some ideals are, a struggle to bring at this time. But that doesn't mean that you can't act out your ideals daily and practically in your everyday life. For example, if you manifest ideas of nurturing those less fortunate, you might work at food banks. You might make extra effort to work in soup kitchens, food banks. You might travel to other countries and help them build wells. You're very much about nurturing those less fortunate. And that could be people close. In fact, for a six, it's often people that are close in their family and their community. They're very much the mama or the papa bear that, it keeps everyone safe and comfortable. And that's really what a soul urge wants. They love family, they love beauty, like they love creativity. They often love music. Family is their focus. They want to care for others. They're warm, they're compassionate, they're talkative, they're team orientated, and they love making friends, and they build relationships easily. I mean, when you're a soul urge six, you're very much about the team and the people and nurturing others, which can get in the way of an eight developing towards leadership, because the six prefers to be a team member. But anyway, let's go into the detail over the next few slides. So you're here as an eight, and it's quite a developed number to be both spiritual and worldly, to use your intuition to support your confidence in order to help you in the real world, and look at what you learn in the real world and feed that through your intuition to help you learn and understand more about the world. So you're here to use the spiritual to fund the worldly and the worldly to fund the spiritual. Have one foot in both, because they can be very congruent when you use one to help the other and vice versa. Fundamentally, you're here to learn the worldly laws of creating financial abundance. Even though you're just as spiritual, you're here to kind of use that spirituality to manifest greatness really in the real world. So it's actually a very practical life path. So you're here to learn the secrets of worldly financial success and seek freedom that comes from that financial success, that freedom of choice that finance brings you. But that freedom, that money, that ability, that status, and sometimes power as well, brings with it much, much, much responsibility. So your ethics with this life path are going to be tested, and it's part of your path to be ethical and consider the well-being of others. So in a nutshell, your life path 8 needs you to seek and learn the secrets of financial success and conduct ethical business. Your motivation in the 6 energy lies more in people, in the nurture of others, their ideals, their home, their community. And it's about peace and comfort and love for a soul urge 6, rather than worldly success and an achievement and getting ahead. So the soul urge 6 it may not support the 8 too much when it comes to getting out there in business, because the 6 prefers the comfort of home and family and being around others. And, the strong perfectionistic motivation on the other side, when a 6 does, or when an 8 with a motivation 6 does start achieving and get into the business world and start walking their life path 8, their idealism can slip in, their perfectionistic motivations could slip in, and it can make them really over judgmental of the detail, and it can drive a 6 far too hard, make them obsessive over the petty details, obsessive over achieving it perfectly. So a soul urge 6 can either reject achievement really, because they prefer to be around those they love and the team, or they can actually overachieve because of their self-judgment and their perfectionism. I've got to get it right, and they're working into the small hours and exhausting themselves. And the 8 does not need any encouragement to be a workaholic. This person, if you are a life path 8 soul urge 6, you already have a propensity towards working too hard or not working at all. So the soul urge 6 is not always going to be helpful here, because the soul urge 6 can drive you to assess the detail too much and overachieve, or it can drive you more towards family and less towards achievement. So the soul urge 6 is less useful here when it comes to that. However, the soul urge 6 is extremely ethical and responsible and compassionate. So they're never going to, when it comes to responsibility, the soul urge 6 has got that down. They're never going to be irresponsible. They're never going to do something unethical that's going to hurt others, because their ideals just won't support that. So when it comes to ethics and compassion, this 6, the soul urge 6, the motivation is going to be to look after others, those that are less fortunate. You could, as I said earlier, endeavour to achieve financial success and abundance in the well-being industry, in the nurture of others. Or you can have a business that does something different and use your money as maybe be an investor or be a philanthropist, or use money to travel abroad to help those that need it the most, building water. There's so much you can do with abundance, and you can either make abundance helping others, or you can help others with your abundance. It's up to you how you do it. So whatever success you gain, you're going to take others' well-being into account, just to finish that little bit. So to support your life path 8 here, you can seek financial success, but in an ethical way, either by nurturing others, making money doing that, although it might be hard to make money, caring for others. It depends how innovative you are. Or use your abundance that you make in business as a tool to help others to achieve success and abundance, to help to develop other people. So it's up to you. The specifics of how you achieve that is completely up to you. I'm just giving you the big picture of how you can use the tools that you have to achieve the purpose that you have. So you're here to use this financial success, as I keep going on about, as a tool, because energy is just money. No, money is just energy. It's a tool. It's like energy that comes out of your hands, or energy that zaps out of a wand. You can use it for good, or you can use it to bring people down, but you're here to use your financial success as a tool. Some 8s spend all their money on status symbols and then wonder why they're not happy at the end of it. Buying all these designer clothes and top rate cars, and at first they're really excited, look at me on I great, blah blah blah, tying up all their energy in all to these status symbols. And then the 300th, the 1000th time they get in their lovely Porsche or put on their Gucci jacket, it's not quite as fun anymore, and they've gone back to baseline. And it's up to the 8 to learn that whatever status symbols they may buy with their abundance, it's not going to achieve them the happiness that they hope it does. It's short-term happiness. It's excitement at having something new. And then you don't realize that actually over time you return to baseline. So there's no lasting happiness with material things or status symbols. It's about, and as you'll learn as an 8, using your abundance to support and love those around you. And that's where the real happiness and satisfaction comes from. Not tying the energy up in look at me on I great Porsche cars or Gucci suits. It's keeping obviously what you need for you and living the life that you can live. You can still live a life of comfort and luxury, but sharing that money more as a tool, and even those emotions. The 8 is about building abundance, financial, but also emotional and mental as well, and sharing that with other people. And it's the sharing and the bringing of people together with, and sharing what you have with those that you want to support, or those that you love, or those in your general vicinity that need your help and are going to use that money well. That's going to be the happiness that the 8 needs to learn. That's what they need to learn, that it's that is going to bring them happiness more than status symbols and power and, controlling others. I mean, there's a lot of people in this world with the 8 life path. So your 8 life path needs you to use your financial abundance as a tool to help and develop others. Your 6 motivation makes you very motivated to be community and person centered. You've got a deep idealistic need to care for others that are less fortunate. So you've always got other people in mind when you're looking at the money you have in your pot, or the emotional and mental abundance that you have to give to other people. You love to nurture other people's potential. You love to practically apply your ideals to help others, to help those that need it most, and those in your family and community that need it the most. You're very much a nurturer. But your 6 energy does propend, you do love beauty. And as a 6 soul urge, you love eye-catching items, things that make you or your environment look beautiful, things that might make you feel secure. Many 6s are hoarders. They like to keep things around them because it helps keep that sense of comfort, security and safety. So when you have much abundance and you have that issue with needing things for your security, this could cause you to actually, become a bit of a shopaholic, always buying things to make yourself feel better or make your environment feel even more comfortable and homely. Spending your abundance on material status symbols and futile pursuit of happiness kind of thing. So the soul urge 6 does have a bit of a materialistic propensity that they might have to guard against. But their idealistic nature and the fact that they want to help other people, that's going to clash with this materialistic side. And it would be good when that sort of overwhelms that, because it's about helping those that need it the most when you're a life path 8. So support that life path 8 by using your financial success as a tool. It's not about just giving your money to anyone. It's about using it smartly and, lending it or investing in it with people and individuals that are going to use that money wisely, and nurture themselves and others towards success. Money is energy, remember, and you can keep it flowing by sharing it and creating further abundance and taking that energy down the line. And it's always going to be better than locking it up into designer labels and hunks of metal with wheels. You can see how I feel about status symbols. So it's about moving that energy on and not keeping it for yourself. It's about creating more abundance with your abundance. You're here to develop a healthy attitude towards money as well. Some people, and especially life path 8s, they either feel that wealth, someone can only be rich if they've been unethical. They consider wealth as unethical, that you can't be ethical and wealthy, and that's completely a fallacy. Or some people that are wealthy might not like people that are poor. They might consider them, oh, they must be like lazy or something, Or, some people that have money might feel guilty about having money. They might feel that they don't deserve it or they're not good enough. They've just got a poor attitude to money as an energy. And life path 8s especially can sometimes have this difficult attitude towards money. They may resent wealthy people and think they're unethical, or feel guilty about their own wealth, or feel jealous at other people's wealth and feel that, oh, they must be bad people, or maybe I'm a bad person. They've got just a difficult, skewed idea of what money is and what money represents. The 8 is here to fundamentally learn that financial wealth or financial energy doesn't equate to poor ethics on any level at all. It's about what you manifest. And there's no reason why somebody that has lots of abundance isn't a good person and a philanthropist. There's philanthropists all over the world that have huge amounts of money and invest huge amounts of money in helping other people. So money is just energy that is a tool. And it is not bad. But the 8 needs to make sure that any unhealthy attitudes towards the energy of money is surpassed in this lifetime. But as an ideally motivated 6, your attitude towards the energy of money is really going to depend on your ethics and the strength of those ethics and ideals about the world. this money-driven world can sometimes be seen as from an idealist perspective as evil, and it could fuel a life path 8's tendency to think that money is unethical when you're an idealistic soul urge 6. And it's going to be very much about how you see the world. Do you see the world as bad or good or balanced? And that's going to really influence your attitude to money, because you want to see this utopian ideal, and money is not always the ideal. It's often very, very cutthroat, and sometimes you see great differences in wealth all around the world. So it can come across as quite an unethical thing. But remember, it's just a tool, and it's how you use it. It's not money's fault that we don't always use it for good. Your 6 motivation energy means that your care for the less fortunate could tend you towards having negative feelings about wealth, especially wealth without philanthropy, or guilt at having wealth yourself, thinking, why should I have it, and why all these people suffer and when they don't have it. It's just a lesson. You're going to have lessons where you don't have money and lessons where you do. And it's all about learning. Having money or not having money is all about learning. So to support your life path 8, it's important that you understand that money is just energy. It's a tool that can be used for selfish or selfless reasons. And we've got to experience all of it. We've got to experience being rich. We've got to experience being poor. We've got to experience being in the middle to really understand what money really is and what it can and cannot do for us. And for a life path 8, this is really important learning. You're here to have a balanced determination to achieve. And this means that the 8 can be very either on one end of the extreme to the other when it comes to achievement. And they need to find that happy medium. They achieve, but with work-life balance. So an 8 can either be unable to enter the working world at all and sitting on the street with a bottle of cider, asking for spare change, or they can be in the top echelons of business, very, very rich and, totally focus on their business life. So money rich, love poor kind of situation. And they need to find that happy medium so that they have a comfortable place and warm place to live, so that they can build relationships, so that they can have that family time. So it's not, the 8 can either be a workaholic or completely dead against working at all, or not able to work. And they have to find that balance to achieve in a balanced way, but always with integrity and ethics and for the good of others. Okay, not to be obsessed with achievement or completely underachiever because of low self-esteem. It's about having enough confidence in yourself to have balanced achievement, but also work-life balance. So your life path 8 needs you to develop a determination to achieve and make money, but in an ethical and balanced way, so that you're having your rest and you're not focusing too much on the achievement and not enough on the people around you. You can be very money rich and love poor, when you're very successful, if you don't spend enough time on the people around you. But as a soul urge 6, your ideals will always make you act responsibly and ethically, first of all, and for the good of others. You're never going to act negatively towards others, because that's totally against your utopian vision. You just take care not to allow, and it's really important that you do this, not to allow your ideals to supersede your concern for other people's personal well-being. And that's when people commit crimes and hurt other people because they don't conform to their ideals. Now, that could be terrorism. That can be just people that are different from you that you dislike and judge. That's the lowest level, and it's really important that your ideals are ideals for everyone, and doesn't mean that other groups need to be marginalized or treated badly. Remember, you have an idealistic vision, and that ideal must cover everyone. Okay. Low self-esteem, bit of self-judgment and perfectionism when you're a soul urge 6 could stop you from really moving forward with your worldly achievement if you allow it to. So important that you work on that, Because remember, you're a soul urge 6, but fundamentally you're here to be a balanced achiever, moneymaker, and world-class leader. And, working towards this is going to help you achieve your purpose in this lifetime. So support your life path 8 by being confident, using your intuition to help you to be confident and be determined to achieve for the good of other people and yourself, especially the vulnerable and those less fortunate, making sure that your actions have no impact on them negatively and, if anything, positively impacting them. Confidence, remember, comes from total trust in your intuitive voice within. Follow that inner voice, follow those gut feelings and trust them implicitly, no matter what anyone says. When you do that, you will exude an aura of confidence and intuitive knowing. Not an intuitive knowing that's arrogant and I know best, just a knowing, a calm knowing that you're doing the right thing. And then you will, without knowing it, exude the charisma of a leader and a business achiever that everyone will trust because they see the confidence within you. You're here to develop that inner confidence and balanced personal power. And it's inner confidence that's going to give you that balanced personal power. Because as I've said, you're here to learn to be a leader. So that means your power, your personal power might be a bit erratic at times. You may swing from over dominance or misuse of power to hiding away and submitting to others and almost letting other people walk all over you. You're here to have that balanced charisma, to know you're doing the right thing, and not be walked on. People's, to exude the kind of charisma that people just give you respect wherever you go. So your life path 8 needs you to develop that inner intuitive confidence, and that inner intuitive confidence will bring you balanced personal power, because you'll just have this charismatic inner knowing, and you'll know that what you're doing is right and true and fits with your intuition. And, people want to follow someone that is confident and knows the route they're taking. So that will really develop your leadership abilities to develop that personal power. So your motivation in the 6 energy propenses you more towards being in a team. But if you're going to be a leader, it's going to be a nurturing one, very parental kind of leader. Maybe not so much motivation-wise, the kind of leadership that is needed in business. So you're going to be quite parental almost when you're in your motivation zone. And you prefer really to be part of the team, and your leadership could be quite weak because you might behave more as part of the team than a leader, just because that's where your soul urge lays. However, when you're passionately entrenched in your idealism and you're not really reconciling it with reality, you can feel like that the only right way. So 6s can become quite over dominant when they feel that their way is the right way. These are my ideals and this is the only right way to go. So when they have that passionate entrenchment in a certain way of doing things, or an ideal way of doing things, they can be quite controlling and dominant and say, this is the way to go, and be quite pushy along those lines. Or on the opposite continuum, the shy 6 that has no confidence in themselves can tend towards shyness and submission. So, the soul urge 6, it's not necessarily going to assist too much with the balanced personal power of the 8. In fact, it's going to be a very nurturing person. In fact, maybe even more of a submissive person than a leader. So it's important that this client really works on their leadership ability, even if they're not overly motivated to do so, because it's very important that they have balanced personal power and they're not, walked on by other people. So support that life path 8. Have faith and confidence in your intuition to support your actions. So your intuitive voice supports everything you do and say. And know in your core that you are worthy of respect. And remember that others are also worthy of respect too. We're all worthy of deep respect and confidence in ourselves, whether we share each other's ideals or not. And that is the vital line. whether we share each other's ideals or not. It is about the well-being of the whole. So the Life Path 8 needs to have faith and confidence in their own intuitive voice within, and use that as a basis for their actions and their leaderships and the decisions that they make, to understand and know that they are worthy of respect, and to lead in a way where they show others that they are all worthy of respect too. And people want to follow leaders like that. And that's somebody that has charisma and balanced personal power. And that is what the 8 is working towards. You're here to develop skilled leadership as an 8. As I've said, the 8 is here to develop towards world-class leadership. And this is going to be intuitive confidence in yourself, knowing that if your intuitive voice says it or makes you feel that that's the right way, that that is the right way to go, and having that confidence. Also, obviously coupled as well with the ability to have the subject confidence and the social skills and the confident charisma that is all needed to be a leader. So the Life Path 8 needs you to develop world-class leadership skills, and that's the confident charisma, the competence, and the social skills, really, in a nutshell. Your motivation in the Soul Urge 6 energy makes you want to be social. You love to be around others, and you prefer to be the responsible and the sensible one. You're often the voice of reason of the team or the group or the family. And your motivation is rooted in the way you practically act on your ideals and then learn by experience. So your leadership style that you prefer is always going to be nurturing and parental, which isn't always going to be conducive with a career or business situation. So that could be a little bit of a snag. And as a Soul Urge 6, you're not overly motivated by leadership. You prefer to be a team member, really. You're practical, so you're not overly motivated to study and to learn subject competence unless it's practical subject competence. So you're going to need a lot of self-motivation to learn any theoretical subject competence that you might need to be a leader, to be a competent leader. So you're going to be the kind of leader that prefers to learn practically, really. And if there's any theoretical knowledge, you might find that more difficult because you're not really a theory kind of person. But you need to support that Life Path 8. So you've got to learn to develop your leadership skills in the field, even if you don't really want to and you prefer to be a team player. It's about expanding your motivation zone so that you do strive towards world-class leadership, because that's what you're here to be in this lifetime. You're here to work hard as an excellent practical business person, but not too hard. Work-life balance. You need time out to have a family around you. There's no point swimming in money and having no one to go home to or no one to put their arms around you. Happiness comes very fundamentally from love and family and having people to share all this abundance with. I mean, a car's not going to tuck you in at night, and a Gucci jacket really doesn't care whether you're around or not. You need that love in your life as a Life Path 8. And sometimes your focus on work can really overshadow everything else and cause you to be love poor, really. So you need to be an excellent practical business person, but with work-life balance. It's so very important. So your motivation in the 6 energy, as we already know, prefers to apply your ideals practically. You're driven to be a practical business person if you want to be, but you're more about people. You're more about working within the team. And you're going to be about business really if it follows your ethics and your ideals. So if the business is ethical and ideal, or if the business strives to bring an ideal to earth that isn't already there, you're going to be more interested in that. Any business or ideas that are in line with your ideals and doesn't violate your values and ideals is going to be something that you would go towards and be very motivated by. You will certainly want to have that work-life balance because you're a home bird when you're a Soul Urge 6, and you will always want and be motivated to endeavour to have that work-life balance and make sure that you build the loving family, because that's where your motivation draws you towards home and family and loving relationships, and you're not about to destroy that with workaholism. So support your life path 8. Learn to involve yourself in practical business. Remember, you're here to be a balanced achiever, and learn the secrets of making money and financial abundance and being a business leader, but keeping that healthy work-life balance so that you're not only nurturing people through your business, but your family and your community and those that you love and care for as well. That is vital for your happiness as a life path 8. It's not all about the money. You're here to be worldly, strong, resilient, disciplined, realistic, quite tough. Actually, you've got to have quite a thick skin to be an 8, because you're here to learn all about money and power and be in the echelons of cutthroat business. And to be successful in this world, you've just got to be strong. You've got to be tough. And you've got to be able to cope with the ups and downs of the world. You know, your life path 8 needs you to learn to be stronger, more resilient, more realistic, and more able to cope with the harsh realities of this world. And as an idealist, sometimes this can be quite a disappointment for you when you're a soul urge 6. So because you're motivated by your visionary ideals with and being able to reconcile your ideals with practical reality, with practical action. Um, you're 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 motivated to reconcile your visionary ideals with practical reality, and you are motivated to try and balance that realism and resilience, which can be useful for you to be an ethical business person. However, you're very sensitive by nature, and your life path 8 gives you quite a sensitive edge because you're here to learn to be resilient. You come to this earth quite sensitive, and the soul urge 6 can, that motivation for the comforts of home can increase that sensitivity because you're idealistic, you're sensitive, and you're quite emotional. And these three things can sometimes impact your resilience. And when you're very low, you may feel low, judgmental of yourself, disappointed with this universe and how people are and the harsh realities, and sometimes your ideals and your judgment of your ideals can bring you down when you let it. So to support your life path 8, your 8 is going to be greatly helped by having a pragmatic approach to your ideals, having that vision there, but being a pragmatic idealist, understanding that sometimes things just aren't practically viable at this time. The real world can be harsh. You've got to reconcile this. And you need to be strong enough to navigate those harsh ups and downs and be that pragmatic idealist you're here to be. So you come to the world sensitive, and you've got to build that strength and resilience in order to achieve your life path 8. Because you need the bravery and the courage to take risks to progress. You know, success comes from being brave and taking risks. You know, sitting on our laurels and staying in our lovely little comfort zones aren't useful at all when it comes to progression. So your life path 8 needs you to be a courageous risk taker in order to achieve and progress. But as a soul urge 6, that you prefer to be safe and comfortable and at peace. So you're not going to be motivated to want to be courageous and take risks and possibly take yourself out of your own comfort zone. Not when you're a 6 that tries to promote peace and stability and love. You know, taking risks can be a little bit too much for you to deal with. You know, risk, unease, it's not going to be something that you're really going to want to engage in as a soul urge 6. But you need to expand that motivation zone because you need to develop towards being more courageous. And to follow that life path 8, you've got to work towards having intuitive courage, knowing when to be brave and when not to, knowing when some things are lost cause, and knowing when something could work if you throw caution to the wind and just take a risk. You know, great things can happen. You've got to be braver. Take more intuitive and calculated risks to help you make things happen and progress in this world, so that you have then the abundance to share with others as a tool. You've got to develop that organization and management skills as well. Remember, you're here to make things happen. And that means you need to be a good organizer and a good manager and, you know, define your goals and meet your goals and set goals and make sure they're achieved every day. Organize yourself, manage others, and basically be a go-getting, make things happen achiever, but with balanced achievement, you know, work-life balance. So your life path 8 needs you to develop your ability to organize the workload, to manage, to set goals, to achieve goals and make things happen. You know, you're here to be an achiever and a business person. As a motivation in the 6 energy, a soul urge 6, you're already organized and you do like to get things done, especially when it comes to practical action. But your 6 soul urge means that you prefer to be more people and team focused rather than goal orientated most of the time. You may not always stick to your practical goals because you're going to put social preferences first because that's your soul urge. But you need to work through that and keep in mind that it is your purpose to make things happen in the business and career world. So sometimes you're going to have to step outside your motivation zone and do things that you may not want to do in order to walk your purpose. It may be hard to do, but it's important that you become that little bit more task focused, set more goals, achieve more goals, move forward in your and achieve ethical financial success. And this is going to help you achieve your life path 8. Now, I hope you found my video really useful today. Now, if you want to order a copy of my book, it's going to be quite a few weeks yet, so there might be a bit of a waiting time, or you want to learn about numerology, or you want to request a video, or you might just want to request a one-to-one reading with me. Whatever you want from me, please contact me. Go to my new spangly website that's got all flashy things and a spinning icon. I'm really proud of it. So it'd be nice for you guys to take a look at that and tell me what you think. You can contact me through my website actually, because links to my Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn and Twitter are all on my website as well as here. So you should be able to contact me in whatever way you can. So if you want to read in, you want to learn numerology, or you want to talk to me about my book or ask me questions or even request videos, please don't hesitate to make contact with me and I will help you as much as I can. But it doesn't matter what information I give you if it doesn't resonate with the soul within you. So only listen to information and only follow your intuitive soul wisdom, because only you know what's right for you. See you soon.